Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. It's my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, December 23rd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol RGTI. We've been tracking this one very closely. And today, very, very nice recovery when you consider that on Thursday, things were certainly looking rough. I mean, just a couple days ago, the price was all the way up here. And then, yeah, definitely a big pullback. But today, the price has bounced and actually gotten back above the purple line. So overall, good, solid movement. And now it's just a question of, can the price build upon this momentum moving forward? And from that point of view, it's more a question of, is this a healthy bounce? And I have no idea, but by using charts, we can make answering that question very straightforward. And in my mind, it all revolves around a single area. And that area is right down here at $8.25. Why is $8.25 important? And I'm not saying this will occur, but if the price were to come down here and then break down below it, what would that be doing to the price? That would quite literally be putting the price right back inside of this range where it just was. Not exactly a sign of genuine power when a price makes a great move and then goes back to where it was. But to be fair, nothing can go just straight up. So maybe the price comes down here, but instead behaves like that and then bounces. Now, all of a sudden, what do you have? Well, you have a set of lows right there. You have a set of lows right there. And if you envision each one of those as stair-steps, now you have stair-steps making progress in the upwards direction. And that's what it's all about. Not necessarily going straight up, but showing progress. And in this situation, quote-unquote, showing progress being defined and quantified as staying above 825. So let's see if the price next week can indeed at least stay above 825. Next one here, NUKK. And all things considered, pretty impressive chart, and I say that just because after this huge move here, I mean, for it not to just completely crash and give up a whole lot more gains, like I said, impressive. Sure, it gapped down today. Sure, it didn't necessarily explode upwards, but the fact that it just chopped around here, and again, to the power of charts, talked about this green line in yesterday's video, but right around that $38 mark, held strong, and that's clearly where the buyer stepped in today. But the fact of the matter is, gap down, sure, but it's not like the price gave up a whole bunch of its gains. And really, just from a multi-day perspective, we have a big picture, nice bull pennant pattern. Now, for those of you that watch yesterday's video, hopefully remember me talking about that resistance trend line right there. So that is totally still in play. But just from the big picture, and again, if you're some sort of day trader and you bought right here and you wanted to buy and sell within 3 minutes, none of this really pertains to you because I'm definitely stepping back and looking at multiple days as we talk about this pattern. But again, from the multi-day pattern, we have this resistance. We have this support, especially established today. And then when you factor in that the price was down here before making the big move up here, and then for you golfers, try to make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. What I would say here is on the 30-minute, we have a multi-day bull pennant pattern. So going into next week, it's just a question of, will the bull pennant get some surge, get some momentum, get up through that resistance trend line to the upwards direction? We'll see what next week has to offer. Next one, EDBL, a penny stock out there that had a whole lot of volume, a whole lot of volatility. And yes, the price has pulled back right now, but there's still, it's up above key levels of support, which is always a good sign. So let's map out a couple of these areas of support. First key level to watch if there is more of a pullback, going to be down here around the 20-cent mark. And 20 cents where I begin to say kind of a do or die level, because if the price, again, I'm not saying this will occur, but if the price were to go down to 20 and then break down below there, you once again have one of these circumstances where the price is essentially kind of right back to where it was. Now, not exactly, but it's entering into that territory of having gone right back to where it was. And as we already established, price movements that make a great move and then go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. But as of now, the price is still nicely above 20 cents, so I would definitely consider that a very important level next week. And then in terms of areas of resistance, for those of you that like to play breakouts, have a pretty steep trend line right there, which is pretty interesting. So if you like to play breakouts of trend lines, and that line right there is showing the selling pressure that has shown up today. But all in all, got a bit of a pullback, but at least you don't have to worry about being the sucker that bought the top. Those people were buying right there. So you've got the pullback. Can it turn around and get another surge of momentum next week? We'll see. Next one, SOUN, and this is a lot like RGTI, meaning yesterday was looking very rough. Price was actually down here this morning, but very, very nice recovery. So we have to ask ourselves the question, yes, great move today. Is there any sort of genuine power behind it? So you now know we need to figure out, well, let's see if the price can make progress because nothing can go straight up. So what is the quote-unquote make progress point in this situation? In my opinion, right here at the 19-cent mark, because if the price were to come down here and break down below it, looking back here, you can see the price basically has gone right back into that consolidation range. But if the price comes down here, bounces around, and then heads back up, at least at that point in time, you'd have a low there, you'd have a low there, and then you have some nice stair-steps showing progress in the upwards direction. So yes, all eyes on 1910. Now, obviously, if it keeps going up and up and up, then of course it's a genuinely strong move. But just because it pulls back a little bit doesn't mean that the game's over. You just want to see that progress, and progress once again being defined as staying above $19. So let's see if this one can indeed show progress next week. Next one here, TNXP, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched the video from Thursday, but if you did, hopefully you remember me talking about that resistance right there at 72 cents. And it, once again, is still fully in play. You can see earlier on today, price didn't hit it exactly, but got somewhat close to it. So it's still down below there. But the good news here is that the price is quietly creeping higher and higher. Look at those lows. They keep getting higher and higher. So as long as these lows remain in that situation, that doesn't guarantee a breakout, but it does make the thought of a breakout a more than valid and plausible thought. So keep riding these stair-steps, and as the price shows itself progress, it's just really a question of, will this ultimately lead to a breakout in the upward direction? In the event the price pulls back a bit more, two main levels of support you're going to want to watch are that purple line there, the 50 period moving average, and that I would definitely consider a kind of a do or die level is down here at that pink line, the 200 period moving average. But the good news is price isn't anywhere close to that. But nonetheless, like I said, price quietly creeping upwards. Is this a leading indicator to a breakout to come early next week? We'll see. Next one here, NVDA. Very, very nice move on this one after a rough start. And now we have a couple of key trend lines to keep an eye on. But also, for those of you that did watch yesterday's video, I talked about this overall channel that I thought had a good chance of forming, and that's seemingly what's happening as today the price is still between the channel. But I do want to map out an area within the channel itself. So just really quickly, what is this overall channel in case you didn't see yesterday's video? Top part of the channel resistance up here, that pink line, 200 period moving average right now. Oh, that's pretty cool. Valued at 137.19. Bottom of the channel support down here valued at 127.19. So for $100 stock to each have the 19-cent mark, that's, like I said, I'm easily impressed, I guess. But nonetheless, that is going to be the sideways channel that, like I said, is seemingly starting to form as today the price stayed within those areas. But within the channel itself, have a nice little potential trendline breakout area right here. You can see that by using that point right there, did a good job of not exactly forecasting those, but did a good job of these areas. So if the price can break through that level, again, no guarantees, but a high volume break of that trend line, you got to like the chances that the price at least gets continuation up to the top part of the channel, if not even potentially breaking through there. But overall, nice way for NVIDIA to end the week today. Real quick, I want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free class that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then get signed up for it. It's totally free and it's on demand. You can watch it whenever best fits into your schedule. So just click that yellow button, or excuse me, just click the link down in the description. You can't click the yellow button on the screen, but we'll put a link down below in the description box and you can click that, get signed up, and you'll be able to watch the class, like I said, whenever best fits your schedule. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and overall good solid movement back upwards. And I will say that now that we have more data, it's a little more apparent, at least in my eyes, where the buyers have been sticking around. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this area of support down to that level right there at the 421.50 mark. Not exact, but just going through the history of things. Actually, you can't see that. It's behind my ugly mug. There we go. So going through the history of things, you can see right there, acted as support. And then today, like I said, generally speaking right there. So if there is any sort of rollback over, then 421.50 going to be that first key level of support. And then a much more important area of support on Tesla would be that 200 period moving average, the pink line there, valued at the 407 mark. If the price does continue to try to bounce, you basically have a lot like NVIDIA, a sideways channel here that is starting to form. You have the top of the channel up there at 457.50, but really even before you put too much emphasis on the top part of the channel, because of the way these moving averages function, meaning they move, hence the term moving average, that purple line here has now moved down below and inside of the channel. So again, before you really put too much emphasis on, doing battle with the top part of the channel up there, the price would first need to break up through that 50 period moving average right there. But like I said, if you just look at today from a micro scale of just today individually, very nice move upwards. Not just a question of can it continue this move up to the top part of the channel and then potentially get up through there. So next week, I think is going to be very interesting. Next one here, QUBT, and overall nice movement today on this, and a couple of key levels that, I'll be honest, I don't know how many people have drawn them, and I just make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, it can create self-fulfilling prophecies. But I do think that there's a decent amount of people because these are not exactly the most difficult trend lines to draw, but we have that overarching trend line right there as support, and then at the same time we have this resistance trend line right there, giving us this wedge formation. And as you'll notice, as next week plays out, this wedge loses space. It gets narrower and narrower. So eventually somebody is going to need to make a decision. Do the bulls win to the upside? Do the bears win to the downside? That's the big question. If you force me to make a call, you'd have to go with the bulls because the overall trend is still in the bulls direction. Again, just because it's an overall uptrend doesn't mean that the pattern will for sure be broken in the bulls' favor. But like I said, if you force me to, make a decision, that's what you'd have to do. And the overall uptrend is coming from the fact that pink line there, 200 period moving average, does have an upward slope to it. So like I said, I think it's a pretty well-defined wedge pattern. Who ultimately wins this battle of the wedge next week? We're about to find out. Next one here, PLTR, and what a move today. Came down here, and this is the importance of that pink line, which I know I've talked about in past videos, but you can see right here, 200 period moving average came down here, slight little break below it. Now, I'm not saying that every single time it bounces that massively off of it, but yeah, the moving average held strong just like it did right there. Price closed at it, and very, very nice move here. In fact, are we at all-time high? No, we're not quite. So first key area of resistance, this is a good problem to have when you have to go back this far in the chart's history, and no need to overcomplicate this. It's just, well, where's the previous high at? Where did the party stop last time? And that was up there at basically the $81 mark, which is coming from back here several days ago. So it is approaching those highs, and it's very realistic to think that it could be getting ready to break the new highs. As far as near-term areas of support, the ideal level of support, when you say, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? That would be if the price could stay up there above the 77.85 mark. With that being said, if the price falls below it, it's not like the entire chart's destroyed from the overall standpoint. As long as the price does stay above the 50 period moving average, and even more importantly, the 200 period moving average, then from just the overarching trend perspective, everything is still perfectly healthy. So yes, preferably staying above that line would be very impressive, but by no means is that like a do or die level. But all in all, very, very impressive way to end the week here for PLTR. Next one here, LCID, almost a case of deja vu. I mean, started rough and then straight up today, but LCID, very, very impressive, and we have a couple of well-defined levels now. So in terms of areas of resistance, again, no need to overcomplicate it. You can see that several times today, the price got right up around that $3.10 range and just can never, build up enough momentum and strength to push up through there. So that'll be the key battleground that you're going to want to watch if there is any sort of attempted return back in the upwards direction. In terms of areas of support, the ideal level, which remember what I just talked about, ideal meaning, what would make the chart look the best would be if the price could stay above that area right there. But again, if the price doesn't hold above it, not the end of the world, because you still do have that purple line right there, which will be moving higher and higher. So as long as the price is above there, then great. And yes, you do have that pink line right there, but probably speaking, I don't think anybody really wants to see the price go all the way down to that pink line there. And like I said, ideally stay above that level, and that purple line there should become and allow itself to be a good solid kind of momentum point for you to continue to gauge just how strong things are. But all in all, and I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm fitting a square peg through a round hole here, so feel free to call me out in the comment section. I don't know, is that like a poor man's bull pennant, poor man's bull flag? Maybe. Like I said, I very well could be trying to fit a square peg through a round hole there. But all in all, good solid day here for LCID. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a moment, but again, for you stock traders out there, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, how it can and should be used, then definitely sign up for this class. Watch it at your convenience. Find some time in your schedule. So again, just click the link down below in the description box, and you'll be able to get, just submit your email so we know where to send it to, and then you can check out the free class. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I am now on the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks represents 4 hours instead of 30 minutes, and that's because Bitcoin is open 24/7. And I want this analysis to remain relevant all weekend long. So I can do that by just talking about a longer time frame and then walking you through some questions, and based on how you answer those questions, that'll dictate the current status of things. So as of right now, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos, but we've been watching that 94,000 mark closely, and the price is up above there. So question number one, let's just say you're watching this Sunday afternoon. Question number one to ask yourself is, where is the price at relative to 94,200? If you're saying and answering the question that the price is above there, that's good. Even if the price is just somewhere down around here, at least that's telling you that the price has continued to go sideways and has continued to bottom out. So any answer where the price is above there, that would be a good thing in and of itself. Now, if you're saying, well, Clay, actually the price is down below there, well, that's where some common sense kicks in. Well, how far down below? The further down below that green line is, the price is, the more rough, the more bearish the weekend has become. So common sense will guide you far in that regard. But yes, 94,200, very, very important level. Now, if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is above that area. Okay, well, where's the price at relative to that pink line there, 200 period moving average? As of now, you can see the price has really been struggling with it. Current value of that is, let's just call it 98,100. So if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is above 98,100, Fantastic. How fantastic? Again, common sense. How far above that pink line is it? The further up above, the more fantastic, the more bullish the weekend has become for Bitcoin. So keep around those levels, walk yourself through those questions, and that'll keep this analysis relevant all weekend long. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to definitely sign up for this class, because what you're learning about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So like I said, get signed up for it so you can watch it at your earliest convenience and get out there and start to get some structure and just learn about how the tool can help build consistency and manage risk. So if you enjoy these top 10 videos, if you could do something to help out the channel in a super free and easy way, if you could hit that subscribe button, that would be fantastic. And hitting the like button also helps out quite a bit. So I wish you all a great weekend, and definitely get signed up for that class and watch it at some point in the next couple of days.